Ladies and gentlemen, in 5 minutes the play will commence. In 5 minutes. Could you please take your seats, please? Thank you.
Hello, Mr. George.
Come right through. I'm almost finished here. That's the third time he's attempted to come in here. Maybe I should go somewhere else.
Not at all. He dodges about like that all the time.
And does he never speak?
They say he does. I've never heard him.
And he's a brother of the district justice. Is that correct?
That's it. Fierce man for the booze when he was only a young fella. Drunk himself half crazy and then all of a sudden packed it in and stopped speaking.
I wonder why.
They say about here that when he wasn't going to be asking for drink, well, he thought it wasn't worth saying anything at all. But brains, do you see Mr. George? The smartest, the whole connection, they say.
Judith's really going to be pleased with this.
Do you think so?
Sure she will. What can I do?
Sure, this when she comes down. There's a volume control at the side here. Loud or soft, whatever way she wants it.
Right.
And if she wants to turn it off altogether, there's a switch at the bottom here. Do you see?
Got it.
You don't think I put it up too high for her? What do you think?
Looks about right to me.
An ugly looking old yoke in a room like this, isn't it?
You wouldn't notice, Willie. It's a good job.
I'm taking this rough enough. But it'll save her running up and down them stairs every turnabout.
And is it on now?
I still got it connected to the leak from the bedroom. Hold on a minute.
Sure.
Claire.
Yeah.
Playing the piano.
I know.
My sister Claire.
Sure.
Welcome home recital for me.
Some welcome.
Dexterity, simplicity, passion. Claire has everything.
She certainly...
Claire!
Yes?
Play the G minor ballad.
Which?
The G minor.
Oh, I'm not in the mood for that, Casimir.
A special request, please.
Oh, just a bit of it then.
G minor. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
When I think of Ballybeg Hall, it's always like this. The sun shining, the doors and windows all open, and on a clear day, you can see the sea from the bottom of the garden. The place filled with music.
That's the best lunch you've had in days. Let me wipe your chin. Oh, it's very warm. I don't think you need this quilt, do you? Oh, Father, you saw your pajamas again. Why didn't you tell me?
Judith!
Come on, let's get them changed.
Where's Judith?
I'm Judith.
Where's Judith?
I'm here beside your father.
Where is Claire?
In the drawing room.
Where is Claire?
Can't you hear her? She's playing the piano for you. Lift your leg, Father.
Where is Alice?
Everybody's here.
Where's Casimir?
Oh, everybody's at home. They're all downstairs.
Where is Anna?
Anna's in Africa. You know that. Now, the other leg. Oh, Father, please, I cannot get them off unless you help me.
Where is Judith? Where's Claire? Where's Casimir? Where's Alice? Where are
They're
they?
all here. They're all downstairs.
Let me tell you something. In confidence. Judith betrayed the family.
Did she?
I don't wish to make an issue of it, but I can tell you, confidentially, Judith betrayed us.
That's better. Now, you're more comfortable.
Oh, great betrayal, enormous betrayal.
Let me feel those tops. And they went too.
But I tell you, Anna, Sister Anna is praying for her. Did you know that?
Oh, yes, I know, Father.
Anna has the whole convent praying for her.
Now, let's get these clean ones on. Lift this leg again, Father.
Where is Judith? Where's Alice? Where's Casimir? Where is Claire?
That's her hooked up. Any sound out of her?
Something was said a moment ago. Seems to be working fine.
It should be. You need to have this whole house rewired. Half of them fittings is dangerous.
Is she aware of that?
Sure, it would cost her a fortune. Tell her I'll take a run in later and sink them bare wires. And I'll leave this here for her. A drop of whiskey. I thought maybe, with the family back home and all, might be a bit short. They come last night, didn't they?
A late night it was too. This will be very welcome. You'll be going to the wedding, Willie, won't you?
Me? Ah, damn the fear.
Will you not?
That'll be a family affair. What about yourself?
Well, I leave tomorrow.
They'll manage without us. Well,
You'll be back later.
aye, sometime. And tell her too. Them groceries she wanted. I left them in the pantry.
Sure, I'll tell her.
Are you proposing that my time and the time of this court be squandered while the accused goes home and searches for his title, which he claims he has in a tin box somewhere?
Himself? Big Jesus.
Now, this leg. That's it. That's great.
And we sit in his freezing court while he goes back? Is that what you propose to me, Sergeant?
Raise your body. Just a little.
Because I can tell you I won't have it. I will not have it.
Himself be Jesus, go over and away.
That's more comfortable.
We're all petrified as it is in this place. Really petrified. And I will not endure a second longer. Case dismissed. Court adjourned.
Now over on your side, and I took you in. You'd sleep for a while.
Do you hear that for a voice, eh? Isn't he a powerful fighting old man all the time, eh?
Would you believe it? I've been here 4 days and I haven't seen him yet.
Sure, he hasn't been down them stairs since the stroke fell him. But before that, howl your tongue, man. I'll be Jesus. He was a sight to behold. I'll be Jesus.
Oh, Miss Chopin, the great love of her life. She could play all the nocturnes and all the waltzes when she was 10. We thought we had Mozart in her hands. And on her 16th birthday, she got a scholarship to go to Paris. But Father... You've met Father?
Actually, I'm...
An itinerant musician? Wasn't that naughty of him? Ah,
How are you, Casimir?
yes, yes. Who have we here?
No, you wouldn't remember me.
Should I? Should I? Yes, of course I should. No, don't tell me. Let me guess. I have it. It's Deegan, the Jarvey. Am I right?
Jackie Deegan?
There you are.
Deegan, the carman, he's dead. I'm Diver.
Diver.
From the back shore.
Ah.
Willie Diver.
Ah.
Tony Diver's son. The Sleuter Divers. I used to be about the Gate Lodge when my Uncle Johnny was in it. Johnny McLoone and my Auntie Sarah. That's gone back a fair few years now. My Uncle Johnny's dead too. Jesus, he must be dead 30 years. I seen you this morning from the Upper Hill. And the land all took from Judith.
And Willie's just rigged this up, so your father can be heard down here now.
What's that?
Baby alarm, won't that be a help?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Save Judith running up and up down the stairs.
Oh, yes. Yes. Splendid. Wonderful. Great idea.
I mean one day, Casimir and me, we were only cubs at the time, this size. The pair of us got into a punt down at the slip and cast off. And be Jesus, did the tide carry us out?
Good Lord. Will we drown?
Damn the bit of us. The wind carried us back in again. Nobody knew a damn thing about us except ourselves.
Well, wasn't that wonderful? Marvelous to see you again. It's so good to be home again. Do you know how long it is since I was home last? 11 years. Now, if you'll pardon me, I'm the chef for today.
Surely to God, Casimir. Same old Casimir.
Is he?
When he'd come home from holidays in the summer, sometimes he'd walk down the street and we'd all walk behind him, acting magic, you know, imitating him, and be Jesus. He never thought of looking round. God.
That expression, you've got the land all taken from Judith, what does it mean?
She has nobody to work with, so she lets it out every year.
And how many acres are there?
I can hardly tell you. It's all hill and bog.
So you lease it,
I sort of take it off her hands, you know.
and you till it,
I put her about. I'm no farmer.
but it's profitable land.
Profitable! If you have a pair of lanterns, we'll walk it someday. Profitable. Gee.
Casimir!
Hello.
Where are you?
On the tennis court,
Can
just
you hear
beside the
me?
net.
Can you hear me?
Clearly.
I've a test for you. What's the name of this?
A test. She's testing me. A game we played all the time when we were children.
Casimir!
Go ahead. I'm ready. I'm waiting. Oh. Oh, good Lord. Oh. Oh, it's the McCormick waltz. The McCormick waltz, right, Claire? Full marks. On the right.
Can't hear you.
You can hear me very well. That's it. I know. I know. Got it. The McCormick waltz. It's the G sharp major, actually, but we call it the McCormick. Because one night, John McCormick, Count John McCormick, you know who I'm talking about? The tenor? Of course you do. Well, Father had something to do with him getting the papal knighted. Some French cardinal Father knew in the Vatican. And because of that, he and McCormick became great friends.
Casimir, this is precisely the material. Do you mind?
Bravo, Claire, darling. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Anyway, this night McCormick was staying over, and Mother was in one of her down periods. And oh my goodness, when she was like that, she... My goodness. For weeks and weeks on end. Now I'm happy she'd be.
She was 47 when she died.
46.
Had she been ill for long? Was it sudden?
Anyway, this night Claire played that waltz, the G sharp major, and McCormick asked Mother to dance, and she refused, but he insisted. He insisted. And he finally got her into the middle of the floor, and he put his arm around her, and then Mother began to laugh, and they danced up and down the hall, then in here, then out there by the tennis court, and he could hear the laughing throughout the whole house. And finally, the pair of them collapsed in a heap in the gazebo. Oh, yes. Marvelous. The McCormick waltz.
Approximately what?
Oh, a great big heavy man. Oh, yes. I remember McCormick. I remember his enormous jowls trembling. But Mother said he danced like Nijinsky. I'm disturbing your studies, haven't I?
Got you.
No, of course I am. Give me 5 minutes to make a call, and I'll leave you absolutely in peace. Do you know what I did last night, even before I unpacked? I made 2 secret tapes of her to bring back to Helga and the children, to prove to them how splendid a pianist she really is.
Have they never been to Ireland?
And I'm going to play them this afternoon, during the picnic. And I have another little surprise up my sleeve too, after we've eaten. I've got a tape that Anna sent me last Christmas.
Very nice.
A really tremendous person, Anna. Actually, her name in religion is Sister John Henry. And she chose that name because John Henry Newman, you know, Cardinal Newman. Of course you do. Anyway, he married grandmother and grandfather O'Donnell in this very room, as a matter of fact. Special dispensation from Rome. But if not, we like to think of her as Anna. And the tape she sent me has got a message for every member of the family. And it will be so appropriate now we're all gathered here together again. That's fine.
It's only the baby alarm. Maybe I should turn it down a bit.
I thought for a second it was Father was, God, it's eerie, isn't it? Eerie. That's what it is. Hello? Hello? Yes, Mrs. Moore. I did phone. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. That call to Germany, could you try it for me again? The number is Hamburg. I'm sorry. I've given you the number already, haven't I? Yes. Helga. My wife Helga. To let her know I've arrived safely. Worries herself sick if I don't. Yes. Yes, just back until Thursday to give Claire away and straight home again. Yes indeed, I'll tell her that, Mrs. Moore. Thank you. Was always terrified of her. Absolutely terrified. Postmistress in Ballybeg ever since. Yes, I'll hold on.
When do they go out of action?
What's that?
The bells.
I suppose when there was nobody to ring them or nobody to obey them. She ought to be home by now.
Morning, everybody.
It's afternoon hours.
Is it? Am I the last down?
Just about. Is Eamon still asleep?
Oh, he was up and about hours ago. He's gone down to the village to visit his grandmother.
And how are you today?
I misbehaved very badly last night, did I?
Not at all. Just sat by yourself singing nursery rhymes.
Oh, that's all right. Tom, isn't it?
Correct.
Thomas Hoffnung from Chicago.
See, you were in great shape.
Hoffnung's the German word for hope. So in fact, his name is Tom Hope. Terrific name, isn't it, Alice? Tom Hope. Colin Hamburg.
Who?
Helga.
Oh, give her my love.
She's in terrific form today, isn't she?
Who?
Claire.
Oh, yes. Yes. Is it cold out?
No, it's a beautiful day. A few details, Casimir. Perhaps you could help me.
Yes.
This is where Jared Manley Hopkins used to sit. Is that correct?
Look at the armrest and you see a stain on it. No, at the other side, at the front.
Ah, got it.
He used to recite the Wreck of the Deutschland to Grandmother O'Donnell, and he always rested his teacup just there. And one day, he knocked it over and burnt his right arm very severely. Sorry? Sorry? Mrs. Moore? Yes. Thank you. Something wrong with the phone lines. Can't even get the letter Kenny exchange. Poor old Helga think I've deserted her. Tell me, Tom, I'm ashamed to say I've forgotten. What is the title of your research?
Hey, I can hardly remember it myself.
Oh, please.
Recurring culture of political and social modes in the upper strata of Roman Catholic society here in rural Ireland since the Act of Catholic Emancipation.
Eminence.
I know, it's awful. I apologize.
No, no, don't apologize. It sounds very... Alice, isn't it very... Right, let's be systematic. Judith has shown you the old estate papers and the family records, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And you've seen the old diaries in the library?
Well, that's all covered.
Splendid, splendid. So, what you want now is... Well, what?
Family reminiscence, family law. For instance, where did this come from?
Cardinal O'Donnell, present from Salamanca. No relation, just a great family friend. And a Donegal man, a neighbour almost. Can you remember him, Alice?
Who?
Cardinal O'Donnell.
He must be dead 70 years.
He is not.
At least.
Is he?
Oh,
Oh, I suppose you must be right. In that case... Oh, yes. Everything has some association in Ballybeck Hall. Hopkins, you know.
Got that.
And this is Chesterton.
Sorry, Chesterton.
G.K. Chesterton. The footstool.
Foot.
He was given an imitation of Lloyd George making a speech. And he lost his balance. And crash, bang, boom, wallop, down on his back across the fender. And you know the weight of Chesterton. He must be 20 stone. The fender's been dented ever since, hasn't it, Alice?
yes.
Sprained elbow and bruised ribs.
Great.
Laid up in the nursery for 5 days.
Approximately when would that have been? How often did he visit Ballybeck Hall?
I've no idea. Often. And father and mother spent part of their honeymoon with him in England, didn't they? Oh yes, they were very close friends. Father wanted me to be christened Gilbert Keith, but mother insisted on Casimir. He was a Polish prince. Mother liked that. And this is Daniel O'Connell, the Liberator. Tremendous horseman O'Connell. If you look, you can still see the mark of his riding boots. And that's the 58.
The clock?
Chopin Sonata, 3rd movement.
Oh.
And this is George Moore, the writer. I wonder why that's George Moore. I've no idea. I just know it's George Moore. And this is Tom Moore. You know, Byron's friend, the Vale of Avoca, the Meeting of the Waters. Yes? No? And this is Hilaire Belloc, wedding present to mother and father. And this is Yeats.
So,
and this is
Yeats.
The Cushion.
Cushion. Yeats.
Oh, Yeats was just tremendous. With those cold eyes of his. Yes, I remember Yeats vividly. Cast a cold eye on life, on death.
Wow. That would have been...
On one occasion, sat up 3 nights in succession, just there on O'Connell, with his head on that cushion and his feet on Chesterton, just because somebody had told him we were haunted. Can you imagine? 3 nights. Of course, we weren't haunted. Father wouldn't believe in ghosts. And he was quite peeved, too. Oh, quite peeved. You betrayed me, Bernard, he said. You betrayed me, and those cold eyes of his, burning with such... Is it me? What's Claire at? Have a drink, Alice. Oh. Listen. Listen. The bedtime waltz. Oh, that's my favorite. That's easily my favorite. Do you remember that, Alice?
Now up to bed. Then, my sweethearts, soon you'll be sleeping tight.
Oh, the bedtime waltz. That's my favorite. That's easily my favorite. Easily, easily. My God, isn't she playing well? The impending marriage, that's what it is. The concentration of fear, delight, and expectation. And Judith tells me she's been in bubbling humour for months and months. Not one day of depression, not even one. Maybe she's grown out of it. Isn't it marvellous? May I tell you something, Tom? We used to say amongst ourselves, Judith and Alice and I, isn't this true, Alice?
Isn't what true, Casimir?
Just that we always said that, well, no, it was never quite expressed, but we always suspected, didn't we, Alice?
What are you saying, Casimir?
Just that we always suspected that perhaps little Claire, darling, was one of those highly sensitive, highly intelligent young girls who might elect to stay single in life. That's what we said, didn't we?
And we were wrong.
Indeed, we were wrong. Thank goodness we were wrong. Not that she's not an attractive girl. A very attractive girl. Don't you find Claire attractive, Tom?
For God's sake, Casimir.
What's wrong with that? Tommy finds Claire attractive, or he doesn't find her attractive.
She's a very personable young lady.
Personable. That's the word. An excellent word. Personable. And such a sweet nature. And her young man, I'm told, is an exceptionally fine type. You've met him, Tom?
Just once, briefly.
I'm really looking forward to meeting him. Aren't you, Alice? A mature man who neither smokes nor drinks.
A middle-aged widower with 4 young children.
That's fine. That's fine. Claire is exceptionally good with children. Judith told me that when she was giving those piano lessons to the children in the village...
What lessons? What children?
All last winter she went to 5 or 6 houses every evening until... You know... the old trouble. Over anxiety, that's all it is, basically. I'm sure that's all it is. And when she had to give it up, I'm sure she must have missed the pin money. I mean, she must have, mustn't she? What was I talking about? Aye, the children. Judith wrote and told me that they were completely devoted to her. Judith told me that. And her young man runs a very successful greengrocer's business. And he has a white lorry with an enormous plastic banana on the top of the cab. And he delivers fresh vegetables to every hotel within a 20-mile radius. And he's also an accomplished trumpet player, and they regularly play duets together. Good. Great. Everything's under control. Everything's in hand. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for her. Dance with me, Alice.
Oh, Casimir, no!
Come on.
Not now.
The bravo, clever little Claire, bravo. Come on.
No, Casimir.
In celebration, come
oh,
on.
please, Casimir, no!
Oh.
Casimir!
Casimir, Alison, Casimir. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Casimir!
You called Casimir. Called Casimir.
Look, Helga, let me Helga. Hello? Hello? Bist du da, Helga? Hello?
Is that whiskey I saw in there?
Can I get you some?
Oh, would you please?
Yes? Yes, I'm holding Mrs. Moore. Yes? Terrific.
You're through?
Yes, to Letterkenny. Very well, Mrs. Moore. They're all very well. And how is Mr. Moore keeping? Oh, good Lord. I never heard that, Mrs. Moore. 6 years. I'm very sorry.
So Sometimes when I ring home from London, it takes me nearly 2 hours.
Hey, you've hurt your cheek.
Have I? Must have bumped into something last night. It's not sore.
And do you come home often?
You're not going to interrogate me again, are you?
Would you mind?
I haven't any answers.
But when you were growing up, did you mix at all with the local people?
We're a local people.
But your big house, your gentry.
Eamon's local, Eamon's from the village.
But as kids, did you mix with other Ballybeg kids?
Judith and Claire and I were sent to boarding school when we were 6 or 7.
Well, Casimir?
He went to the Benedictines in England when he was 12.
And afterwards?
Judith and Claire and I went to a convent in Carcassonne, a finishing school, where we became young ladies, didn't we?
Indeed. And Casimir?
Began law in the family tradition, but always hated books. So he failed University College Dublin, did various genteel jobs until he met Helga. She took him off to Germany, where he works part-time in a food processing factory. I don't like to ask him. She's the main breadwinner. She's a cashier in a bowling alley. Anything else?
Tell me about Eamon.
Didn't we talk about that last night?
Briefly.
What did I say?
Poised for a brilliant career at the
Poised for
diplomatic.
I never said that.
I'm quoting you.
I must have been drunk.
Then the civil rights campaign began in the north in '68. The Dublin government sent him to Belfast as an observer. And after a few months observing and reporting, he joined the movement. Was sacked, of course, moved to England, where he now works as a probation officer with the London Borough of Camden.
Listen, Claire's tired at last.
What was your father's attitude
To Eamon.
to the civil rights campaign?
He opposed it. No, that's not strictly accurate. He was indifferent. It was across the border away in the north.
Only 20 miles away.
Politics never interested him. Politics are vulgar.
And Judith, what was her attitude? Was she engaged?
She took part in the Battle of the Bogside. Left Father and Uncle George and Claire here alone and joined the people fighting the police in the streets. Now, that's what you call an attitude. It's when Father had his first stroke. And 7 months later, she had a baby by a Dutch reporter. Does that constitute sufficient engagement?
Give me that, Eamon.
Jump for it.
Give me it, Eamon.
Jump,
I'm telling you. Give me it back now.
Doesn't it suit me?
Beautiful on you. Now give it back to me.
Sorry. Helga, what? Hamburg. Behave yourself. Looking splendid. Me? Marvellous. Hungover. You weren't drunk.
He was full.
Good cool this morning, though. The E-sharp major, the bedtime, wasn't I right?
Full marks.
Eamon, Mrs. Moore is in poor. Mrs. Moore is in poor. No, Mrs. Moore. I didn't say anything, no. Begging your pardon, Your Eminence. Your Lordship, Your Worship. Excuse me, Shakespeare, Lennon, Mickey Mouse, Marilyn Monroe. Like walking through Madame Tussauds, isn't it, Professor? You're a bloody minefield.
Thank you.
Won't you make a beautiful bride?
Certainly will.
Lucky for you it's not soiled.
Let's see it, Claire.
I'm going to shorten the net.
It's very pretty. Did you get it in Derry?
Judith made it, and the dress, and her outfit too. Economy.
It's very smart.
Did you know that when Grandmother O'Donnell got married, the whole village was covered in bunting? And she gave a gold sovereign to every child under the age of 12. And when Mother got married, she gave roses to everyone in the chapel. I was wondering what I could do. How about a plastic bag of vegetables for every old age pensioner? Oh, I suppose it'll be lunchtime soon, won't it?
Well, that was great music. Really great. I really enjoyed it.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was.
I'm only a good pianist. I'm not a great pianist.
So there.
Is that what you're going to shorten?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, let's see it on.
Granny sends her warmest love. She was disappointed you weren't there with me. I said you had a headache. That wasn't a lie, was it?
Maybe a fraction of an inch, but I like it as it is.
Out at the village visit my grandmother, Professor.
So I believe.
Reared me from a pup, you might say. When I was 3, the family had to emigrate to Scotland for work. I was left behind with Granny. Her very special love to you, she says, and she'll be sending down a small present to her.
I called in with her the day before yesterday.
And brought her yellow roses.
I can't persuade her to come to the wedding.
All she wanted was to be asked. You were wearing a white cotton dress and a pale blue headscarf, and you looked like an angel. Over the years, Professor, I've lusted after each of the 3 O'Donnell girls in turn. Where was this hidden? I thought we guzzled every drop of booze in the house last night.
Willie brought it.
Willie who?
Willie who?
Willie Diver.
Of course. Willie Sluter, the ardent suitor. Sorry I missed him.
He'll be back later. He was buttoning the baby alarm up for Judith. See on the door frame in there.
That's going to be a great help.
The judicial presence restored. District Justice O'Donnell, sir, welcome downstairs again. Is it true that Willie practically haunts the place?
Oh, a little bit, I'm afraid. But he's very helpful to Judith and very generous.
Always was. One civil, one decent man. Your good health, William. You know what somebody was telling me in the pub this morning? There's over 500 slot machines and arcades all around the country. They're worth a fortune if you looked after them. Never goes anywhere near them. Sorry, Claire.
Oh, the doctor doesn't allow me to take alcohol when I'm on sedatives.
Professor?
It's Tom. I'm okay.
That's somebody you should meet.
Who's that?
My grandmother. Worked all her life as a maid here in the hall.
In the hall, here.
Yeah, didn't you know that? Something like 59 years continuous service with a district justice and his wife. Lord have mercy on her. And way back to the earlier generation, we had Spalla, the High Court judge, and his family. Oh, you should talk to her before you leave. Fund of stories and information.
She sounds...
Carriages, balls, receptions, weddings, baptisms, deaths, feasts, trips to Rome, musical evenings, tennis. That's the mythology I was nurtured on all my life. Day after day, year after year. A life equality. That's how she pronounced it with a flat A. Strange and marvelous education for a wee country boy, wasn't it? No, not an education. A permanent pigmentation. I'll tell you something, Professor. I know more about this place, infinitely more, here and here, than they know. Sure. You'll enjoy this. Telling the Professor about the night I told Granny you and I were going to get married. Not a notion in the world we were going out, of course. My God, Miss Alice and her grandson. Anyhow, Granny said this night, Alice and I are going to be married. Alice? Who's Alice? Alice Diviney? Alice Byrne? Not Alice Smith. Alice O'Donnell. But what Alice O'Donnell's that? Alice O'Donnell of the Hall?